So let's see.
Yeah.
In a few seconds, we will be live. So
Yeah, it says it's live on Facebook. So, yeah.
okay, so let me double check if it's working. Okay, so
Is it?
okay. So let's start. So before we
Wait, just a minute. My audio went back again.
okay, really
Okay.
now
Yeah.
working. Great. So yeah, so before we start, if anyone has any questions that would like to ask Hailey, you can just type it below in the comments, and she will also reply at the end. And also, well, we basically have started a short interview series for participants or ex-participants of different mobility programs, sharing their experience around the world, and this is why you are here today. So welcome, Hailey. I am so happy that you have made it today and you want to share a bit of your time letting us know about your experience in Germany. So if you could tell us a bit about who are you and where are you from?
So I'm Haley. I am from India. I'm currently living in Germany. First, I moved in for my voluntary service program, and then now my partner is here as a German Chancellor Fellow. So I'm staying here and learning data analytics and German language.
Yeah. Okay. And so why did you decide to go for a German civil programs and apply for it?
So when I got to know about this program, I had my own startup and I was doing my business in India, but I wanted to explore more and wanted to learn more about other cultures. So basically, in this program, I got an opportunity to work in a school with free education pedagogy, which was entirely a new concept, and I found it interesting. So I applied, I got selected, and it was all paid program. So I thought, even if I don't get anything, there is nothing to lose, and so I took this experience.
Okay, and what's the procedure different from being a non-European person applying for this European program in Germany?
The major difference is visa process. It is not so easy, and country relation matters, so keeps going up and down every year, and a little bit of cultural difference, I would say, but it's a positive difference. So yeah.
So which benefits did you actually receive from this program? So it was any visa arrangement that they did for you? Also, living in Germany, was it offered like any language course or anything like that?
Yes, so starting from the beginning, once we got selected, we had 3 days training program to learn about how different it is going to be to moving to Germany, the life here and visa process. And then financially speaking, our visa expenses, flight tickets, insurance cover in Germany, and accommodation was all covered. And apart from that, we got some stipend, and language course was also provided by the organization.
And how long was it, the program, like in total?
1 year.
1 year. So is it a maximum of 1 year and then you cannot longer apply, right?
No, it is once only for everybody, and in some cases 3 to 6 months of extension is possible, but not more than that.
Okay, great. And could you tell us a bit about the eligibility about this program? Like, is it also for German people who are looking to move abroad, but also non-European I mean, like all citizens moving to Germany, right? So how does it work more or less? Like which kind of program inside that program are for each of the nationalities?
Okay, so basically the program is supported by German government and it is called BFD, Bundesfreiwilligendienst. So most German people would know about it. And in Germany, it is very common to do a voluntary service or 1 year travel and work after completing the school, which is not as common in our countries, like in the Asian countries, I would say. So yeah, in this program there are two parts. One is called North South, in which German citizens or also some students who are living in Germany, Europeans but living in Germany, they got chance to go to World South. And there are countries like Asian countries, African countries, or South American countries. And the other part of the program is called South North program, in which people from this World South, Global South, gets opportunity to come to Germany. And this is only in Germany and not other countries under this program. And there are different organizations. So the basically organizing part would be depend on each organization. They have their which countries they are working, which countries they are sending volunteers or inviting volunteers. That depends entirely upon the host organization.
Okay, I understand. So, how was actually the first day once you landed in this new city? So when you moved directly, I mean, from India to Germany, right? So how was your first day when you wake up, or actually on the first day once you traveled to this place? Like, how was it?
I felt like I landed in some new world, because I arrived in Frankfurt at 9 p.m. It was August, so a long summer days, and I always heard about having longer days, but at 9 o'clock, looking at sun in the sky, which was very new experience. And I come from a Indian city, which is always crowded, and then I ended up in German village, which is like I didn't see any people, any human being for first 2 days. So I felt like it's a different world, but I loved it. I loved the experience.
So, well, actually, Delia is saying hello, and also Milena in our chat, because I'm just looking there because they are, I can see comments over there.
Yeah.
So if anyone joining have any questions, you can just type it in our chat, and then we will reply at the end. So you can ask Heidi anything related to what we are talking about. And also, I would like to know, how was a normal day in the life, like once you wake up until you go to sleep as a volunteer in this program?
So I was living in a village, countryside, and I was working in a school. So I would wake up at 6 o'clock, go to school. Sometimes I would take my bike. It was 10 kilometers, the distance between my school and the place I was living. And I had to cross like a couple of villages to go there. So I would either take a bus or bicycle, go to school. I come back at 1 or 3 in the afternoon, depending on the day. Then there are some other volunteers which are also into the same program, but they have different organizations they were working at. So in the evening we would all cook together and talk, play games, and yeah, then sleep. So
Okay, so did you also have the opportunity to travel together with these people or with another people that you met, like around Germany or somewhere?
yes, so I travel. Since I was in the school, I had many holidays, and I took the opportunity to travel around Europe and also in Germany. So during this year, I also met so many friends who are coming from different parts of Germany. They invited me to their places. I got to celebrate German Christmas with a German family,
Wow, so cool.
and yeah, so a lot of traveling.
So interesting, like the multicultural experience are
Yeah.
always like so enriching. So yeah.
Yeah.
So could you please tell us like the overall experience in this whole year? Like how was it? How can you like kind of like summarize it for us to know if this is something for someone who is watching now or not?
Yeah. I would say if you're looking to get into learn about a different culture and get into this, you have it's a good opportunity, because I got to learn so many small things about this culture which I would not have learned if I was just traveling here. The places I lived in, the places I worked at, and the people I met. It was, I think, if not for this program, I would never have been able to do this. So if you want to learn a language and live in a place where not no anybody doesn't know anybody don't know English, so you have to speak German, which helps to learn the language, and it gave me an opportunity to learn how politics, society, history affect people, like coming from a colonized world to a world which are actively part of World War II, and this affects humans and the society. So this was a really good experience, and for North South or South North, this is a wonderful opportunity, I would say.
Cool. Well, actually, I felt quite different. Even when I moved here and I am from Spain, I moved to Germany and I also felt kind of like a bit of cultural shock because they also do things different. It doesn't mean that they do it better or they do it wrong. It's just that it's different. Like, for example, when you go into a traffic light, if it's in yellow light, you cannot cross. And then for us here, it's like kind of like just run. But then over there, you can get like a fine if you actually go like and you cross, even for the bikes. So for me, it was like, I don't know, it was like so weird to have these differences between like a European country to another. It can vary like a lot. So I can imagine coming from India, which is like so many kilometers away, to Germany, how many like, I don't know, like differences you might notice, I think.
Yeah, there were like every single thing, and there are also some similarities which I later realized, like with the language, because grammar of German and grammar of Sanskrit is quite similar. So if I try to learn the language from English, it's difficult, but if I try to learn it from Hindi or any Indian language, it is easier. And so there are a lot of, yeah, that was it's a good experience.
Cool, great. And also I wanted to ask you, did you actually, they help you with the accommodation? Did you have like a room for yourself or were you sharing like with another people?
Yes, it was a sharing flat, and we all have our separate rooms, but kitchen and living space was common. And in this program, there are also, it depends, as I said, it depends on the host organization. So there are other organizations which place volunteers with families. So you get to live with a family, but you have your own personal room.
Mm-hmm.
And for them, I think the experience would be a little more different than I had. But also during this year we have different seminars and you get to meet other people coming from other countries doing their work at other organizations, and we have like uh, 1 week seminar, so everybody come together, we have different trainings, so integration, and we share our experiences and what to take back when we go back to our countries and so on.
Okay.
So it's not just you and the organization, but also like everybody involved in this circle.
Okay. So you can meet another people from other like projects
Yes.
similar program. Okay.
Also from different host organizations, so they have different organization doing things differently for them. They came from South America, South Africa, other African countries.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I think it's important to know if it's also like a shared flat or if you are living with a family to ask these questions first, because not everyone maybe would like to live with a family, or they will really want to have like a shared room, or maybe they don't want to share a flat with so many people. So I think if you move there, also the program should let you know about where is the accommodation and where are you gonna live, and which amenities are you gonna have, like Wi-Fi, kitchen, all of that. So
yeah, when you fill up the form for the application, every organization mentions this living conditions, and mostly they ask what is your expectation. And you also have like 2 layers of interview, one in your host country and later online interview with the host organization where you're working. So you get to know. So in the end, it is a decision up to you and the organization, which uh, if both of you find it equal and match for each other, then you go ahead.
okay, sounds cool. That really sounds cool. So actually, Milena is asking, well, she's saying actually, whoa, from India to Germany, did you feel the cultural shock?
Yes. I felt it when I came here, and I also felt it when I went back to India.
Okay, yeah. Well, nobody talks so much about when you go back to your home. and you feel like everything is different. Well, actually, you are different because you have experienced different things.
Yes.
So, yeah, totally. And then also Delia is saying, thanks. I would like to know what surprised highly the most from Germany.
Surprise. uh, the first was my expectation that everybody would know English in the world. When in India, it's like when you if somebody doesn't know English, people don't, yeah, they motivate you. And here that I learned that no, it's not that. But also you don't need English to communicate. But always nice to know English and the language of the place you go to, and a lot of rules and that people follow it. That's also not common in India, so it was surprising that you can have a lot of rules and can be followed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, you're not allowed to download anything from online because you will also get a fine. That's another rule that I didn't know. And actually, where I live, like everybody downloaded stuff from the internet to watch
Yeah.
it later, maybe in the plane or even music. But over there, it's not allowed.
Did you play it here?
Eh?
Did
Sorry?
you did you did you download anything in Germany?
No, no, I didn't. I was so scared. Actually,
Yeah.
they will knock on my door and they will say like, "Hey, what did you, what did you download?" So I was like, "Nothing. I didn't download anything."
Yeah,
So
that's the first advice I got when I was selected for this program, that do not download or watch anything online which is illegal.
yeah, in some countries it's so normal, but then in other ones they want to really respect like the property actually from somebody who is actually running, like
Yeah.
who made it. So I think that's the reason why. And also in Germany, I think they really respect like art in the way of like they have so many grants and helping people to actually be creative. So I think they really want to protect property that way. So makes sense. Actually makes sense.
Yeah, and Data Protection Act is also very, very strong here,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good sign, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would like to talk now about the Humboldt program. If you can let us know a bit about what is it first?
Yeah. So Humboldt Foundation, Alexander von Humboldt Foundation has a lot of fellowship and scholarship programs, and the one I am connected to is German Chancellor Fellowship. Right now, it is for people from 5 countries, that is India, Russia, China, USA, and Brazil. And from this year, it is also available for people from South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who is living in this country are invited to have their 1 year research program. So they should write their independent research proposal, whichever they have, which can benefit their own country as well as Germany and help build connection between these 2 countries. And if they get selected, they have an opportunity to work here for 1 year, and they get first 3 months they get intensive German language course, and then a stipend of around 2,000 to 2,500 euros per month, plus family benefits.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what are they usually like? Imagine that somebody applies. So once they arrive, what are the tasks that they usually need to do? I guess they need to work on the proposal that they have sent, but also how are usually like regulated? What task they need to do on a daily basis?
Actually, before coming here, like the process also takes like about 10 months. So the deadline for next batch is September this year, 15th of September, and the batch will start next year, August. So
Mm-hmm.
like they take 11 months in the entire process. That time you have to find your host, which who will be guiding you in Germany. It can be anywhere in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And when they everything is done, when they arrive in Germany, they have first 3 months intensive course. All the research fellow from all 5 or 6 countries live together. We were in Bonn, and do the language course for 3 months. After that, they have all the research fellow goes to Berlin, and they visit cancellery and other historical political places, and then they start with their program by October, November, and then they work on their research, own project. So then it's no specific timeline. And by end of the year, you have whichever work you publish, you have to give credit to the foundation. And I guess that's, yeah.
So is it for like a maximum of, what is the maximum time for people who are coming here with this program, with the Humboldt program?
It's 1 year plus, so 14 months and 3 months with 3 months extension possible. But the best of benefit is you get to be a part of Humboldt connection group, and then you get to connect to a lot of people working in the research. It can be anything from starting from art, culture to science.
Okay, but it have to be anything related to that, but in connection with these countries, between Germany and your home country.
Yes. Isn't the program says that your project should be benefiting both of these countries and their relations to build further.
I also saw, well, I read somewhere that it also from next year is going to be available for South Africans as well.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the new country for this year.
So can you give us an example of like a project? Let's say that I would like to apply for this program. Which kind of proposal, as an example, could I do? For example, for art or for culture, because this is like kind of like a broad, I think, topic. So
for some people I know, they are working on nightlife of Berlin, and so how it is eventually, like how it is evolving, and compared to maybe one of their cities cultural nightlife or connection, or just this city they learn here, the project will be just if about nightlife of Berlin, and then later they plan to use this idea back home. There are some people are working for women in music, so how they are perceived in gender is playing role in the musical industry. Then there are people working for sustainability or waste management of Germany. So it shouldn't basically be that it has to be some part in you have to work in your country, but you have to make them you have to convince them that this topic will be when you study this, it will be beneficial when you go back to your country.
Okay. Okay. And do you have any tips for somebody who is applying, as you are like part of the team actually from Humboldt program? So do you have any advice for people?
I'm not part of the team of the Humboldt program. It's like my partner is a fellow, and through him I get also this opportunities. I am part of the team of the voluntary service program. So who is supporting the volunteers who are coming from India to Germany, and from Germany to India whenever they need help, or we organize seminars and stuff. But
it's kind of like in a section, not inside the Humboldt program, or is it inside the Humboldt program?
Humboldt program, it's like my partner is a research fellow, and through him I also get so this program also give family benefits. So I also got to be part of this language course and many excursion programs with them, with the fellows, and that way.
Okay. Now I understood.
Okay. Yeah, cool. And that organization and helping part was for the voluntary service, which I did before, and that we are called reverse group because it's a reverse program of what it was in the beginning. So we have a team called Reverse India, and as a team we help all new participants and our host organization to function in the country, so to support.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So do you actually have people who are also coming from India to here, to Germany? I mean, to where you live?
Yeah, so I am living in Hildesheim. I was living in another village before. So when they come here now, since I'm in Germany, I meet them sometimes. If they have issues, I talk to them. I try to communicate between them and the organization if there is anything. So we as a team, all of us, we have like different roles. So we are also actively involved in the selection process, as in we help spreading out the word. We organize this orientation seminar meeting, so where we invite everybody, and then there are other people who take interviews, but we be there to share our experiences with the participant and to observe them and to communicate with the organization if what we feel about them and if they are a good match or not. So, and after every year, every batch, every volunteer gets this opportunity to join the team if they like to.
Cool. Okay, so it's kind of like a point of contact.
Yes.
Okay, great. So do you have actually any advice for anyone who would like to make a jump and move abroad the same as you did for the first program that you mentioned, the German civil service?
Yeah, I would say if you are fresh graduate or just finishing your school, and if you're not sure what you want to do or if you want to explore, then you should take up this voluntary service. Then this time you have option to explore and decide for your career more and further. And if you are for the Humboldt volunteers, Humboldt Research Fellowship, I would suggest if you have completed your bachelor's degree and if you want to get into research further down, then you can take this fellowship. And starting from completing your graduation until until the 10 years from finishing your graduation, you're eligible to apply. So if you're in middle of your career and if you apply for this program, you can take 1 year sabbatical and do this. So it's also a jump to explore here, connect and build a network in Germany, and maybe you can take your career further in this country.
Cool. So cool, so interesting. Well, Delia was saying like good to know about the traffic light. She was well, I mean, Lena is also saying like, do they help you with the visa? So actually, I think you mentioned it already. So they actually helped you with all the arrangement. So did they actually cover it for you, or?
We get the letters and all. So as a Rewards India group for the voluntary service, we help them in this 3 day seminar. We tell them what are required, how the interview. We prepared new volunteers for the interview. So I got prepared from my senior batch of volunteers, and we did the same to the next batch. So yes, on the weekend seminar, you get all the information and support for the visa process. And for the research fellowship, we have a letter from Humboldt Foundation, and it's a funding comes from German Chancellor. So it's always easy to get visa. There's no problem.
Great, so interesting. Okay, so yeah, actually, Hailey, that was the last question, and I think, let me check. So I think there's no more questions here. So thank you so much for your time, and thanks for being here today and for sharing your experience with that. I think it was so interesting to learn more about these two programs that you mentioned, and I think it will be really beneficial for someone who is looking to relocate, especially in Germany, because these are German programs. So yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful for people. And if anybody has any questions or doubts, you can always message me on Facebook.
Yeah, I think it was really great, and you give like so many insights, and I think people can have like an idea if this kind of program is for them or not. Also, I wanted to mention that we recently launched a guide that has like 14 programs inside, mobility programs, and we have shared the link on our comments. So in case there's somebody interested, it's not only the Humboldt or the German Civil, there are like so many that I didn't know about once I moved abroad, and now I started to research a lot, and together with the team, we managed to make this guide that I wish to have years ago when I relocated and I wasn't sure about what to do. So yeah, so I think this is gonna be, this is great for anyone looking for more opportunities. And thank you, Hailey, for all your experience.
Thank you, and I will also recommend your guide to others. I also looked into it, so it's really great job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it took us a while, like months, to make it, but actually, the more you get into it, the more programs you started to know, and I think it's so cool. Some of them are for people who are looking to move from Europe to any other country, like Asia or Africa. We also have one that if you have any idea and you want to bring it to life, like for business, organization, or NGO, there's also a program for that. So I think it's really important to know like all the options that you have before you choose something, because it could be that because you don't have the knowledge, you just choose something that is easier somehow because you just have it in front of you, than instead of like research. And I think it's hard to know because these are like kind of like from public institutions, so these are not like seen everywhere. It's just like most of the time you see something that you need to pay for it in order to move abroad, and I really don't agree on that term, because I think if you volunteer you should be paid instead of you paying for going abroad. And
Sure.
they should also give you the support to move you with the visa, with the medical insurance, with the relocation. So these all programs like 14. And actually we are missing the humble one. So there are more, there are even more. And they are found there in this guide. So I think it's great for anyone.
Sure, I will also recommend it to people. And that's a great job that you did, and also from founding this Facebook page and bringing us all together. So thank you for doing this also.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hailey. Yeah, I think it was super great to have you and to know more. Otherwise, we wouldn't know where to find this information. So it was really valuable to have you here today, and we would like to thank you so much for your time
I'm
today.
glad.
Okay, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.